He was a ghost in the suburbs, a stalker hiding in plain sight. For over a decade, he crept through middle-class neighborhoods in California, watching families, breaking into homes, and leaving terror in his wake. They called him many names, but no one knew who he really was. He raped, he murdered, then he vanished without a trace. It all began in 1974 in a quiet town called Visalia. At first, it was petty crime, homes broken into, strange items stolen, women's underwear, jewelry, photos. It seemed random, but it wasn't. He was studying his victims, learning their routines. Then came the first violent encounter. A man was shot while trying to protect his daughter. The killer escaped. A year later, 400 miles north in Sacramento, a new nightmare was unfolding. A serial rapist was targeting women in their homes. He became known as the East Area Rapist. He waited until families were asleep. He'd break in with precision, tying up husbands, placing dishes on their backs, warning them not to move. Then, he'd drag the wife into another room and assault her for hours. Sometimes he stayed, ate their food, whispered chilling things, then disappeared into the night. But he didn't stop there. As he moved south into the Bay Area, his violence escalated. By 1979, he wasn't just raping anymore. He was killing. The murders were brutal, calculated. He'd attack couples in their homes, binding them, then bludgeoning or stabbing them to death. He wore a ski mask, spoke through clenched teeth. Sometimes he called his victims months later just to say, "I'm still here." They gave him a new name, the original Night Stalker. But no one connected him to the earlier rapes up north. Different cities, different police departments, no shared databases. And so he kept going. By 1986, he simply stopped. No more attacks, no more taunting phone calls, no trace. He disappeared as suddenly as he had arrived. Investigators were left with shattered families and no answers. Some believed he had died. Others feared he was still out there, watching. For years, the trail ran cold. Then, in 2001, decades later, DNA evidence confirmed what no one had expected. The East Area Rapist and the original Night Stalker were the same person. Still, no match. His DNA wasn't in any criminal database. It seemed he had truly gotten away with it. Until science caught up. In 2018, investigators tried something new. They uploaded his DNA to an open-source genealogy site called GeneMatch, where people search for long-lost relatives. The killer wasn't there, but his cousins were. Through a painstaking process of building a family tree, investigators narrowed the possibilities. One name stood out, Joseph James DeAngelo, a 72-year-old former police officer living quietly in a Sacramento suburb. Retired, married, a grandfather. From the outside, he was just another old man with a lawn to mow. They waited, followed him, collected a used tissue from his trash, ran the DNA. It was a perfect match. On April 24, 2018, Joseph DeAngelo was arrested outside his home. After 4 decades, the Golden State Killer had finally been unmasked. In court, he sat still, expressionless. He pled guilty to 13 counts of murder and dozens of rapes. In 2020, he was sentenced to multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole. He will die behind bars. For 40 years, he lived free while his victims suffered in silence. And in the end, it wasn't a witness or a confession that caught him. It was a strand of DNA, a whisper from the past, a silent scream from those he thought he silenced forever. Justice had been delayed, but it had not been denied.